Hello and welcome back to another story time. So spring is here, Easter's on its way, and I thought I'd show you a few activities that I found that will be good to use with some of our spring stories. So if you're looking for something fun to do with your class or with your children at home, I've got some ideas for you. So have you read the Christopher Nibble story about our very hungry guinea pig and his great gardening skills? So this is such a lovely book to talk about new plants and how to care for plants. But it's also good to talk about food types. So I've got a great activity called Can You Eat It? So you can do this with flashcards, you can do this out and about, you can do this in your garden, go to a garden centre, and what you want to do is you want to show pictures of different things and ask, can you eat it? Christopher Nibble loves dandelions, but can we eat dandelions? That's up for debate. But you can try this with things like roses, cabbage, apples, daisies, any living plant you can find. You can check and see if your children know whether we can eat it or whether it's just to look at. This is a great activity because it reinforces different types of food, different types of vegetables and fruits, and if you're really green-fingered, you can even introduce different plant names. So have you read the book All About the Bunny Who Was Looking for Easter? Such a beautiful story, very unexpected. And this is a great book to talk about the seasons and all the different things that we find during the year. So not only are we talking about spring, Easter and bunnies, but we're also talking about other themes that happen during the year. So with this, you can do a brilliant nature scavenger hunt or nature bingo. So you can make a card, blank squares, and pop in or ask children to put in things they think they'd see during the year. Okay, could be a tree, could be a leaf, could be flowers, could be fruit, could be snow. And as you go for a walk or as you read through the story, you can tick off or put a cross through the things that you see or hear in the story. So this is a great one to do to reinforce the story. So once you've read it, you can see if children can remember some of the things they saw during the year. Another great one to do, I found this lovely activity all about how to draw bunny faces, and anything that gets children drawing, gets them practicing different ways of drawing is great. Fine motor skills, creativity, wonderful, wonderful game. So this wonderful activity, the link's down below, is all about how to create a funny bunny face. And so as you can see, as you go, there's no perfect way to do it, and you end up with lots of different options and different creations. So this is a lovely activity to do for children who are learning to draw, who maybe don't feel so confident drawing, but everyone ends up having a giggle. So if you do end up using any of these activities, let me know in the comments below which one was your favourite, which one you used, or which story was your favourite. And if you have any recommendations for other activities, feel free to share them. We're all here to learn and get inspired. So the latest story we put up, The Little Nut Tree, wonderful story using the famous nursery rhyme. And again, this is a great story to talk about the seasons. So we're coming into spring and we see all the changes after winter. And this is a good time to kind of look and reinforce what happens to plants during the year. And so what you can do using flashcards, pictures, any kind of slides, or even examples you might have of like real leaves or real pieces of a tree. You don't go and hack down a tree in the forest. You can get children to reorder the images to put them in the correct order. So you have the images, you mix them up, and the child is going to put them in the natural order that plants follow during the year. So for example, a tree with flowers but no leaves would be spring. Then the next one would be a tree with leaves, then a tree with orange leaves, then a tree with no leaves. And so following the natural progression through spring, summer, autumn, winter. And you can do this with not just trees and leaves, but you could also do this with the different stages of growth of a fruit, or the different stages of growth of a plant, or even with an animal. So growing from an egg to a chick to a hen. And this is a great one for sequencing. So getting children thinking about the order that things happen in. Okay, if your children are as big a fan of chocolate as my children are, I'm sure stashed around the house you've got various small plastic eggs, and I can actually now put them to good use. So I saw this great activity on a wonderful blog, and I'll link it below again. And this is good for literacy, learning to read, learning to write, beginning to be able to manipulate those basic words. So you're going to take the egg, you're going to write on the one half of the egg the beginning letter, and on the second part of the egg you're going to write the final part of the word. You are going to group words that start with a similar letter but have a different ending. And what the child is going to do is they're going to be able to manipulate, twist that plastic egg and twist it to make different words. So you can practice making words, pronouncing words, taking it in turns, make it into a game. And it's such a nice activity, and it's so good to be able to recycle all those plastic eggs that are cluttering up every corner of my house. Okay, so you might have seen I've got Easter poems as well, which are a great alternative to a story. They're a little bit faster, they're a little bit easier to introduce some of the different themes that Easter has, and it's a nice way to talk about Easter in a more compact lesson. So a nice quick activity to use these poems would be to make a greetings card. So we normally give Christmas cards, but an Easter card could be a nice alternative for children to make to give to friends or family at this time of year. So after you've read the poem with the child, and the child can choose which poem they like the best, or even make up their own, and get them to design a beautiful cover, a beautiful front to a card. And that's a nice way for them to interpret their ideas that they hear in the poem and get them to present their interpretation of Easter. And then they can give it to friends and family. So I hope you enjoy those activities. I hope you find them useful. If you do, please like and share and subscribe. That makes such a difference, and hopefully more people will be able to find them. Enjoy spring, enjoy getting out into nature, enjoy sharing stories with your little ones and your class, and I will see you next time for another story time. So take care, bye bye.